welcome to Ed Fessionals, the show for students made by students. My name is Jason Joseph, and today our segment is Are You About That Greek Life? We'll hear from three individuals who will tell us whether or not they joined a Greek organization and what they got from the full experience, and hopefully we can help any of you out there who are on the fence about joining any organization but aren't quite sure where to go. But without further ado, let's get started here with our guest, Kate. Kate, how you doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing pretty well. You know, it's like that time of year where it's just getting like really cold outside.
Yeah, it's pretty rough, honestly.
I know. It's like really weird because like summer's just over.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, you got to bring out all your winter clothes.
Yeah. Yeah. So just talk a little bit about yourself. You know, like where you're from and you know, like what influenced you to join the sorority. Like once you got into college, just that sort of stuff.
Okay, well, I'm from a place in South Jersey called Vineland, New Jersey. Yeah, I came to Rowan, and I knew a few people coming into Rowan. I knew my sister, my older sister, and some of her friends. And I had some friends that I wasn't really that close with coming in, but I didn't really have too many people that I was close with, so I was really nervous about making friends, and I really wanted to feel a part of something, and so that's why I decided to start looking at joining a sorority, and so that I could become a part of something at Rowan and meet new people. And so yeah, that's where that decision came from.
That's awesome. So, you know, I know that for me personally, like when I heard about joining a fraternity, that there were certain stereotypes that were out there. And even for people that were joining a sorority, I'm sure that there's definitely stereotypes for that. Mm-hmm. Just talk about like what types of stereotypes, especially like sorority girls have.
Yeah, I definitely hear a lot of stereotypes, and I did when I told people that I was going to be in a sorority. A lot of people think that sorority girls are kind of like dumb and really conceited and like only care about themselves, because that's kind of the way they're represented in like a lot of movies and stuff like that. You know, I also, you know, you hear a lot of stuff about them, but it's really not like that. A lot of the girls are really, really humble and really like friendly, and I was definitely scared of it being like that at Rowan, but as soon as I really met the sisters, I became really close with them really fast, and I realized that it wasn't like that at all. It's kind of that those are really just stereotypes.
Yeah. Do you when you hang out with your sisters, you know, I'm sure that you guys have different types of events and that you guys bond really well.
Yeah.
How does it? I'm trying to think of like what to say. When you're around your sisters, how does it feel like just to be at the house and just to be able to hang out with all of them?
Yeah, it's definitely, it feels like really homey. They're really like my actual sisters, you know. It's feels great to be a part of some like an organization like that where everybody kind of really loves you and supports you in everything you're doing. You know, if I have a problem, I could really go to any of them and for like support, and it feels really great to have that many people that are there for you and that many people helping you and supporting you through things. So it's really a fun time. I love it. Yeah. Yeah,
and I'm sure that especially now, it's probably like a really tough time because, you know, like everybody's getting ready for finals. Definitely. And it's like, you know, really tough because keeping up with your schoolwork and, you know, being there with your sisters. But how do you deal with time management between hanging out with your sisters and being able to keep up with your academics and your schoolwork as well?
Well, it's really hard managing Greek life and school, but we manage it as a sorority. Like we have specific hours that we have to fill out that when we go into the library to study. So it's really all about organization. You know, like you go to the library and you study for a certain amount of hours, and then you're like set for the rest of the day, and you do that a certain amount of times, like a week. So you really have to prioritize your schedule. But once you get that down, it's not too bad. It's not too hard. It's all about organization. Yeah.
And do you also like study in groups? Like, do you study with other sisters? Like when you go to the library?
Yeah. We'll text each other in our group chat, and we'll meet up at certain times so we could study together, which helps a lot actually. Yeah. And in our free time, like I could go to that sorority house, and we if people are studying, I'll just start studying too. Because we all have schoolwork, and especially during finals week, we have to definitely put aside extra time for that. But we all support each other with it, so.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
All right, well, we're going to throw it to break, but when we come back, we'll find out some more information about just joining a sorority and getting more involved with Greek life here with Kate. And yeah, we'll be right back in just a few moments. Don't go anywhere. I got so confused because I thought there was a script up there.
Pedestrian safety is of great importance on the campus of Rowan University. The Department of Public Safety would like to remind viewers how to safely cross the street. First, press one of these safety buttons to activate crosswalk lights to let drivers know a pedestrian will be crossing. Next, look both ways, then slowly step onto the road, watching to make sure drivers come to a complete stop. For further questions about pedestrian safety on the campus of Rowan University, call 856-256-4922.
Did you know cigarettes contain more than 7,000 chemicals, 70 of which have been known to lead to cancer?
My grandma's been smoking for over 50 years. She's fine.
450 people have been affected by vaping, and there have been 17 deaths.
At least it's not cigarettes.
Vaping contains harmful metal particles such as nickel, tin, and aluminum. The Center of Disease Control and Prevention has labeled vaping as an epidemic. With what we know about cigarettes, why risk it with e-cigarettes?
Send me off to sleep, and I know I said go slow, but I can't hold back no more. Got a premonition.
Welcome back to Ed Fessionals, the show for students by students. Right now, we just heard from Kate on whether they were about Greek life, and now we're going to hear from Matt Tate as he shares his take on the fraternity style.
My name is Matthew Tate.
What year are you at Rowan?
I am a senior at Rowan University.
Major?
Psychology.
And what fraternity are you a part of?
I'm a part of Alpha Epsilon Pi. So my freshman year I was in Rowan Choice, so I was interested in Greek life then, but I wasn't allowed to join because really I was only affiliated with the Gloucester County Community College, so I wasn't able to get in Greek life right away, but I met Alpha Epsilon Pi through Chabad at Rowan, and I met some of the guys there and they were really cool. And then my sophomore year I actually went to my community college back at home, Rowan College of Burlington County, and then I ended up going back here for my junior year, and immediately, without thinking, like I just knew the guys and kind of wanted to just meet some people and have the opportunity to do that. I'll start off with the pros. The pros, you meet a lot of people, it's nice, and also it kind of gives you the sense to practice your time management, as when you have a hefty workload, you kind of need to keep on top of the Greek organization as well as your schoolwork, and they really look out for you, trying to make sure your grades are up and everything. And another pro is just you kind of have a sense of like just being outgoing, having the opportunity to be outgoing, and it's just a really great opportunity. Some of the cons, it's a transition. There's definitely a big transition factor to it, because you're with a lot of people all the time. You go to a lot of like philanthropy events and all that, and it can be a lot, but it really teaches you how to kind of manage your time, and I think that's a big pro to it, and it's a good time. I know a lot of freshmen, like when they first get to college, their first view for Greek organizations is, oh, everyone parties, everyone does this, everyone does that. But once you start learning more about the organization, it really isn't about that. And basically, if you're worried about the stereotypes, you can kind of put them aside to just learning about the organization before you start doing it. So when I got here, I wasn't really sure about the brotherhood aspect. Like, I've heard about it, but everyone says that you pay for your friends and all that, and that's another stereotype. And I get it. I get it from an outside perspective, but at least for Alpha Epsilon Pi, I can only speak for my Greek organization. These are my brothers that I'll be best friends with for a good amount of time, and it wouldn't be the same experience without them. And it's not just the label brother, it's in general, just, they're great people. You just gotta find the great organization. That's why I chose Alpha Epsilon Pi. You're not gonna meet people like that you really bond together with. I totally get it. I mean, it's definitely a decision that you really gotta take the time and, explore. If you don't explore it, then the stereotypes are gonna stay. But if you do explore it and you actually look into it, then you can actually have those views if you want. But I guarantee if you explore our organization, any other Greek organizations, you'll immediately change your mind about some stereotypes. And, that's up to you. That's the decision you have to make. But I want to let you know, sometimes studying stuff, looking into things, is better than just the stereotypes that are around.
That's thanks a lot, Matt. That's going to wrap it up with me and Kate. But when we come back, we're going to talk to Josh, and we'll be right back after these few messages.
At Rowan University, a good parking spot can seem like a mythical fairy tale. However, with the right knowledge and preparation, difficulty finding a spot can be a thing of the past. Getting to school early leaves plenty of spots and gives you the time to do things like go to the gym or hit up the library to study. If you don't want to get up early, knowing which lots are busiest is key to finding a good spot. Some sneaky spots to check are Lot F or Lot Y. With any questions regarding parking, don't forget to call 856-256-4575.
Lonely are the nights, lonely are the days. Lonely I am in so many ways. Lonely are the seasons, lonely are the years. So lonely I am that it brings me to tears. Lonely is this place, lonely is my life. And now we're back on Ed Fessionals, the show for students by students. We've now heard from two individuals who claim to be about that Greek life, but now we're going to take a look at the other side and see how that lives and talk to Josh Ticino, a man who didn't join into the Greek Life Society, but he's a part of the Rowan Television Network and the Rowan Radio. So how you doing, Josh?
I'm doing pretty good, man. How are you?
I'm doing all right. Just talk a little bit about what influenced you to become a part of the Rowan Television Network and also the Rowan Radio station as well too.
So being a student in RTN and Rowan Radio, it's very enjoyable and it helps me pretty much learn about some of the stuff you're not going to be learning about in your average classes. It's pretty much in high school, my one of the classes I had, we basically did morning announcements and stuff. And in college, there's not really many classes that you could do like that where you get studio time, or you don't get to be on a radio station. So RTN provides that sort of studio shows, various live shoots you can go out on and help with sports, different live events going around campus like Raw. Sometimes we do that, Rowan's Got Talent, things like that. So it pretty much just provides a sort of extra way of going about and doing stuff. And then Rowan Radio obviously most people, you don't really have access to go on a radio station and be in Rowan Radio. You're just like, yeah, I get to be on the radio.
Yeah, exactly. Now, when you film stuff for the Rowan Television Network, did you have to go through any sort of camera training or training with any of the other equipment just so that you could be more independent?
Yeah, so we did have to go through camera training before we could use any of the camera equipment for RTN. It's relatively straightforward. You pretty much just show up, they show you how to use the cameras, and then you show that you know how to use the cameras, and then they allow you, you go from there pretty much. For the other equipment, a lot of it is you pretty much just kind of teach yourself, you follow along and make sure, and just kind of teach yourself how to do it. But there's other people around that have had experience in everything, and they also help teach you how to do everything.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, thanks for being here today, Josh.
No problem. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, no problem, man. Always great to see you, man.
Yeah, good to see you too.
All right, folks, we heard from the haves and the have-nots of Greek life, and it's safe to say, as long as you put yourself out there, your college experience will be enjoyable. Yeah, and that's going to do it here. My name is Jason Joseph. Thanks again to Kate, thanks again to Matt, and thanks again to Josh for doing a terrific job throughout these whole interviews. I'm Jason Joseph once again, and I hope you all have a great night.